Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, Karen.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Hey, as of yesterday, the county checkbook has $70,996.96. The jail checkbook has $30,457.05. We have borrowed a total of $4,220,000, which is about average. We've got about a month and a half left to go. Taxes usually start coming in the middle of September, so hopefully we'll be stop borrowing soon.
But is this where we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So far to date, as of August 1st, $12,678.25 is in interest on what we've borrowed so far. But that'll start climbing because the balance is higher.
Sure.
We should be at 58% expended for the end of July. We're at 54 on the county and 52 on the jail. So we're doing really good there.
Yeah,
Good.
it's always good to keep those expenses down.
Always good news, Karen.
And that's all I have.
I have some
Okay,
more.
yeah. I don't know who made it and who seconded it.
Thank you.
Okay, sure. Okay, for our warrants, county accounts payable and reserve warrant for a total of $386,078.29.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. No further discussion. All those in favor? Aye. The next warrant, MCRRC accounts payable reserve warrant for $112,717.22. Second, it's been moved and seconded. No further discussion. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. Thank you, Karen. This is my old.
Karen, when does the new allotment of CCA money hitting?
I turned in everything. We usually get it sometime September, usually.
Okay,
So, and I haven't heard any feedback or anything.
Yeah.
So I think everything's been accepted.
everything is pretty well.
Want me to send Kelly in? Yep, please.
Karen, would you ask Kelly to come in?
She is.
Oh, thank you. Sure. As I scream at her.
You would have roasted something else. And she asked if she should. I said, yeah.
Christ, I even have my peepers in, guys. Sorry about that. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning. Okay, and I need a short executive session first.
I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
For pay.
Title 401.
6A.
Sure, 6A. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We'll go into executive session.
And I will go open the door. Okay. Thank you for the session. Do you guys have to tell her who voted and all that?
1
Betty
second.
voted, Bill seconded.
No.
Yes. No action.
Okay.
Okay, for the HR department, I am presenting a letter of hire, well, not really hire, it's a transfer from part-time to full-time for the sheriff's department for Walter Corey. The effective date is August 1st of 2022, pending your confirmation. Per the MDA contract with the state, Walter Corey's hourly wage will be $36.76. He'll come in with a 20-year vacation step, earning 240 hours of leave per year. His insurance coverage will begin for health insurance will begin August 1st of 2022. And once he has successfully completed training, he will receive a sign-on bonus of $7,500 and the second sign-on bonus portion at 1 year of performance from the August 1st hire date.
So motion's been made.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all of those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
The other thing I have is for the Register of Deeds. This is Julie Howard will be retiring after 12 years of service. Her last day will be December 30th, which is a Friday. With your approval, the Register of Deeds, Stacy Grant, would like to appoint Amy Keller as Deputy Register of Deeds effective 1/1/2023. She will have 9 years of recognized experience, so she will start her at Class 7 8-year pay scale, which currently is $24.80, but that will be a little bit higher for the 2023. And in the meantime, she is planning on hiring a full-time, or opening a position, opening an announcement, not a position, forgive me, to bring in a trainee 8 to 10 weeks before the retirement of Julie Howard.
Absolutely.
And I'll second that. And the motion, I think we need two motions. One is to, hire. Or
Amy Keller as
yeah,
the,
Amy Keller.
okay,
And then the second one would be, so I'll do the first one.
Okay, so
Did you get that, Bob?
Mhm.
Motion's been made and seconded that Amy Keller be the deputy. As of January 1, all of those in favor?
I,
Opposed?
And then,
The second motion would be to hire somebody part-time, at least 8 weeks out, to get them properly trained. And Betty made that motion and Bill seconded, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, all those in favor?
okay,
Excellent, thank you.
okay, and the only other thing I have today is Maine Municipal Association for our workers' compensation fund has refunded us $4,343 because we have done so well, because our losses were low this year. We were only few.
Our workers' comp losses
We're
were
low this year, yes. So-
excellent.
and we accept it.
And we
Yeah.
accept the $4,343 very happily.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very, very much, Kelly.
Okay, so
Get out of here, go camping.
I'm going camping, I'm gonna head, so if there is anything that you need of me today, which I doubt you will, my cell phone is with me and I will. pull
No,
over.
don't be stupid. Don't even answer it.
But I'm gonna clock out and I'm camping.
That's right, enjoy.
fine, I'll call up your husband, pick up the stuff on the way by that
That's right,
picked up this morning.
that's right. Jason, Jason, are you in the house? Jason? He's there somewhere, I know.
Hard workers comp.
I always like to see you like, boom, hit your head on that thing.
So,
Good morning, sir.
good morning, how are you?
Very well, thanks.
Been working on some more, I got all 3 new deputies, laptops and phones out to them finally. That was a wait. I appreciate your patience there. Also working on, we had a couple of vehicle crashes, so we got the video of those sent off to Malcolm in the risk pool, I think was who requested it.
I've asked Jason, I'll stop you right there for a
Yeah.
second, because we technically don't have policy on our car cams, our camera stuff. And when there's an incident, it's got to be recovered. So I've asked Jason to please pull up and come up with some sort of policy on that, so that it's not fair to track you down or Matt if he's on vacation or something like that. And especially where Jason is the IT guy, so.
Yep, I'll work on that for you. I did go to a Spillman user group meeting up in Augusta yesterday at the state police that they put on, I think, twice a year. So this was that one. It had some good information, free lunch. I brought back a bunch of lunch to the comm center as they ordered 80 lunches, and I think there were maybe 20 people there. So
Ooh, good day.
yeah, so that wasn't bad. One thing I did want to discuss with you was the mobile device management policy that I printed out for you. This is from the CGIS manual. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to discuss changing our policy for county email and only having it on county-owned devices versus personal devices. Otherwise, we have to install remote management software on personal devices where we can remotely lock it or wipe it if it gets lost, making sure it's not rooted or has any malware on it and that sort of thing and everything like that. So I'd like to kind of open that discussion with you. We don't have to make a decision today, but my thought would be if we could do that the first of the year, then we could have people budget for any additional county cell phones that they need for next year, was my thought process.
Excellent. No, give us some good reading material.
All right, let me.
Thanks.
Still also working on pricing out possibilities for phone system upgrades, because as we do move the buildings around, the phone system that runs the comm center, the jail, the sheriff's office, and currently EMA is full. So once we get rid of once we repurpose those EMA extensions, I still don't think we're going to have enough for the DA's office if they're the ones moving up there. So I have gotten a few quotes, and I'm not presenting you with anything to make a decision about or anything else like that. One option is to put a new phone system on site. So we own it, it's right here. I got one quote from a company in Farmingdale that would be around $66,000 to do that. And we would own everything, we'd own phones. Another option would be to go to a cloud-based system where we pay monthly for the phones and the devices. And I spoke with Green Pages and a company called Peerless. I think Peerless is out of Texas, maybe. But they do more of a cloud-based system, which we would pay monthly for. And they would actually end up, we'd pay one bill for the phones, the phone lines, and our internet access. And so for paying all of that, it would be, the current quote that they have me would be $625 more a month than we pay right now for all the phone lines, long distance, and everything else to that effect. The upside of that system is that if we lose internet in one of our buildings, all the other buildings still have phones. If we lose power in one of the buildings, we're not dependent on that. The other thing that I thought was interesting was, as we have a 90-degree day, but we're all starting to chop wood and cut wood for winter, is if we want to move further down the not having snow days, but having people work from home if need be, they can actually bring these phones home with them and they could answer their phone as if they were in the office. So if I called Barb's extension and she was home, it would be the exact same. I wouldn't notice any difference. And the people calling in from outside wouldn't notice a difference. So that's just something that we don't necessarily have to do, but something to think about. Let's do the rest. I'm still working with Motorola to get our invoice broken down by agency. I've contacted them multiple times and they've moved it up and up and up. I actually have a meeting with our account rep today at 3 o'clock, so I'm going to talk with him about that too. I've told them that we're not going to pay the invoice. We just want it broken down before we pay it.
Right.
So they've clarified that yes, our support isn't going to be cut off. We're not going to face any late fees, anything else like that. They put a note on the account that it's on their end right now until we pay it. So I'm still waiting on that. Haven't heard back. Still waiting, and I'm told it's not going to impact our support or any late fees or anything else like that. So I'm like, I just wanted to make sure they're aware. We're not holding out. We're waiting on them to get us this information.
Right. Wow, thank you.
And I think that's all I have for you.
Excellent. So you don't want any money today, or?
I don't think so.
Oh, cheers.
Wow.
Unless you have money to give away.
They were like, wow, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a quick no. I don't want to disappoint them if you're trying to.
Does anybody have any questions for Jason? No.
The only question I have for Jason is, I gave you my phone.
Yes, yeah, I'm still working on getting a new number on that and letting it run for a while so it doesn't get all those spam and everything else.
And you have my iPad right now.
Yes, yeah, that's all set. I'll get that for you at the end of the meeting. Yes, when we've decided when we swap over phones up at the sheriff's office, we're giving them a new phone number. Because otherwise people call the number and think it's, you know, somebody from, you know, a year ago or vice versa, that sort of thing. And I had to laugh when I swapped over the three new deputies' phone numbers. They actually found a block of phone numbers that they think has never been used. So they gave us those three numbers. They said, I can't guarantee, but when they see a block like that, it's usually because they're brand new. I said, all right, well, maybe those ones won't get spam calls and spam texts for it. No, and even with brand new numbers, I don't know, some get hit more often than others. It's
pretty bad.
totally random. So yeah, it's,
You're not supposed to open those messages.
I just reply and say, I was,
That was all I was kidding.
yeah, I get
Wow.
these text messages that just say hello, and I reply and I say, no hablo inglés, and then they leave me alone, so.
All right, if there's nothing further for Jason, thank you very, very
Thank
much,
you.
Jason. Director Larrabee.
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Thank you.
My list is short today. First, Jim Porter has completed all of his training. He's starting to cover shifts on his own. And per the agreement when he was hired, I'm requesting that he be his rate increase now to $24.20 an hour. His vacation time would stay the same.
2420,
Yes.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Staffing levels are the same with Jim on desk now. He's providing a little bit of relief on the overtime. We've had our advertisement out for almost a month now. We've only received 2 applications. We're gonna let it go a little bit longer and then see what else we get for applications, but one of them looks pretty good. The other one, I haven't had a chance to read through the whole entirety because I just got it in yesterday. But hopefully we can find a couple more out of this process. Point Lookout is pretty much complete. I talked with Mr. Hirschfeld. Things did not go as well as planned for him. He was hoping to have a little more peace and quiet up there, but his contractors are still there. So he's gonna be gone for a week, and the tower company is gonna go up and just make some final connections, but they've turned the tower over to us already. We're just waiting for the new radio equipment we put up, and Mr. Hirschfeld said just give him some notice and they can have whatever time they need to finish that up. Keith is working with some vendors to try to get propane up there for the generator. That's all installed, and we should be pretty well to go up there. The new radio system, I got word yesterday that all of our equipment is in. It's sitting at their shop. They started building the system in the shop, and they realized they had to upgrade their electrical system to handle our new system. So they're waiting on that. Once they get it up and all programmed and ready to go, they're gonna have us come down, go through it and approve the equipment. And then they'll start installing. I'm hoping end of August, beginning of September, they'll start the installs. We did a walkthrough at Mount View. That looks like it's gonna go. We're gonna put a roof mount on their roof. It's a non-penetrating mount. Just sits on the roof with cinder blocks with our antennas on it. Run a line over to their IT room and be able to put a location right on Mount View. Mount Waldo, I've got a draft lease right now that Norm and I are going through. We got to make some changes to it. That's going to be a go here soon. The one thing I was actually happy about was when he sent the lease, it was $300 less a month than what we originally talked about. So that's gonna be a plus. And then I received 2 emails, one from Senator Collins, one from Senator King's people. Commissioner Fowler also received a letter and they're attached. That we've made it over the last huge hump for the direct spending money, the $165,000. That will be used to renovate the radio room at the comm center. And that's all I got.
I think I just wanted to mention one thing. We talked about getting gas up to the location. I haven't been through that myself. I've been looking up at automatic stand generators.
Yes.
And in the process, I found out I called New Brunswick on Urban Oil, and a very informative secretary. She knew what she's talking about. She typed up a memo and sent the brewer location, Urban Oil. She said there was no charge for the tanks and no lease payments.
Okay.
Just the installation will give the tanks to you. That's something to consider because you're talking $1,000 a tank.
Yeah, because we were at like 3,500 or something like that.
Oh, yeah,
Just-
bigger tank, yeah.
Yeah, so no, I'll let Keith know. Keith is working on that for me. The problem I had with the vendor that he went with, or we got the quote from right off, was you have to go up a hill and he wants to be able to drive up to the tower, which he can't drive up there. So they're gonna have to lug a hose up over the hill a little bit, which they do at other sites for us anyway. So we're not sure where, but I will definitely mention, because if we can save money, I'd love to save money.
Well, the $3,500, but I questioned her quite closely, and in fact, I had a contact back from him. I called him yesterday, New Brunswick. I'm on the books for August 14th.
Okay.
To have people at my house. So it seems like a pretty good deal.
Okay.
I guess the money they make is picking up a huge bunch of customers that they ordinarily wouldn't have.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Nope, that's good to know. Like I said, I'll let Keith know, because like I said, I don't want to spend money if I don't have to.
I called Maritime, and Maritime was $200 a tank more than consumers.
Yeah.
They were $900, Maritime was $1,100. So I didn't figure there's any breaks there.
Yeah, and that's who we got the quote from, was Maritime.
Yeah.
So, and then the install and everything, they wanted us to dig all the holes and everything, and they would just come put it in. And it seemed kind of weird, but, and then to go up the hill, they wanted us to put stairs in.
Oh, really?
So if they couldn't drive up.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Wow.
But other than that, that is all I have.
And the equipment is all in for the refit they were doing?
It is, it's
Coming
all,
along well?
yes, it's all sitting down in Portland right now. We have taken over their whole garage space. They can't fit anything else in there right now.
Yeah.
So they're very eager to get it all going and get it out of their garage. So hopefully, like I said, end of August, beginning September, I'm hoping they're gonna start installs.
And I was really pleased with the efforts you people put forth to get the 65,000.
Yes.
Well, we haven't got it yet, but
No.
I think it'll come.
I told them to start making up some plans.
Yeah.
We're over
yeah.
the major hump right now is what they had said, because now it's just gonna go to the House and Senate and then be signed by the president. So
Yeah.
from what I'm told, usually if you get this far, you'll get it, so.
Collins is what, chairman of appropriations?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's pretty well home.
Yeah, so yeah, that will, and then I found out from one of the vendors that the quote he had given me wasn't a discounted quote, that there's actually a contract price, so hopefully we'll get it even less.
Yeah.
Because I originally had 225,000 on that, and they bumped it down to the 165.
Oh.
But I had beefed it up quite a bit with doing windows, and we just won't be able to do the windows. So, which is perfectly fine.
I think some of them will come down on their price just if they can get the work.
Yep. Oh, yeah. And we'll see where the final pricing comes and what we have left. And if we have left to do the windows, then great. If not, then Keith was anticipating that it'd be pretty expensive to do those windows because of the brickwork and everything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then we've got to go through the city, remember, to
Oh, man,
window
Yeah.
change, so,
how do they look,
well, yeah,
you know?
Yeah,
it's just either that or just break them out in the middle of the night. That's it.
it's fine by me.
Like your line 4200 is teetering on the brink of going over, so
Okay.
I caution you there.
Thank you.
Anybody have anything else for the director?
Oh, I don't have anything, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Excellent, thank you. Sheriff,
Good, good.
is Lieutenant Invisible? He's on the list.
I didn't know which one was coming. I apologize.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
we wanted to reserve some time, but the lieutenant and the chief and Ray are all in a budget meeting right now, putting our budget together, so that's where I'm headed back to. But I did have just a couple of things, just want to give you an update on the, because we officially started the corrections collaboration.
August 1st.
August 1st, so far so good. And
It's only 4 days.
I know, it's only 4 days, but we actually started moving inmates around 2 weeks ago. So it's going well so far, and no hitches with the courts yet. We were a little bit worried about as far as arraignments, things like that, but so far everything's going well.
Did you ever
the
get response back from the DA's office?
Excuse me.
Did you ever get response back from Natasha with regards to the?
She actually
plan?
came up and met with the chief and sat down and had a conversation with him. She said she supported it and it made sense. And we're gonna move ahead with it. And the other issue that they talked about was this whole, I don't know if you folks are aware of it, but when we got the new our new in-car cameras and body cameras, the integrated system through WatchGuard Motorola, and it came with a data package to download because it's a lot of video being recorded. And it has to be stored and then downloaded and sent to the DA's office. So they provided us with a software package that made it much easier for us to get that done and get it down to the DA's office. And we basically send them a link to the video, and then if they need to download it or if they need to view it, they can do so at the link. Well, that wasn't, the DA's office didn't want to do it that way. They wanted us to adopt their system. So we said, okay, we'll try your system. Their system is awful. And it takes, Nick Ottinger is spending hours and hours per case downloading video. And we send the video down, and oftentimes they don't even use it. It's just that they wanted it all. So we've made a compromise. Natasha compromised with us, and we're going back to the link system that we had initially. And I think that they're going to find there's going to be some other sheriff's offices that are going to do the same thing. And she's agreed to it. So we're all good there.
So it's made it easier for.
The system we were already using that we bought that came with our Motorola system is making it easier. But I think it took a while for them to understand it because they wanted to use their system. So another update on the LPR camera system. Everything's a go. We're just waiting for the electrical contract. Jason checked in with them again the other day, and we're hoping maybe by the end of this month we'll get that.
They're hoping, because all the equipment is coming to you. I don't know if you've got it yet or
We
not.
haven't
It's on
got it
its way. Less one piece of equipment that will come with the gentleman that does the installation. And they were hoping to have it like go live by Labor Day. I know, so when I spoke with Jason, we emailed the other day, and he told me that I mean, just like anything, everybody's struggling to get contractors. His contractor had said the end of August. And he said, unless you got somebody else in mind, I am, because especially knowing now that they wanted the setup date for Labor Day, I am going to reach out to a master electrician that I know just to see if maybe we can get this installed sooner. I'll discuss it with Jason. I'll let Jason know, but because it is really kind of sad if we have this equipment set up, but we still can't finish it off and activate it at that time. So I am gonna reach out and I'll let Jason know.
All right. And the only other thing I wanted to run by you guys, we've got one of our corporals up at the reentry center. She's had a domestic partner. They're not married. The domestic partner's mother died within the last couple of days. She's requested 40 hours of bereavement leave. I looked at the contract yesterday. The chief and I both looked at the contract. We don't agree that that fits because they're not married. But I wanted to run it by you folks before we give her an answer. And also Kelly said that there was a recent case in the county, somewhere in the county, where that was approved and it shouldn't have been. So checking in with you folks, I'm inclined to deny it simply because they're not married. Just kind of wondering what your folks' position is on that.
Oh, you've grown pretty good ground, Sheriff, I think. I mean, it sounds kind of cruel, but where do you draw the line?
Well, I agree with what you're saying, Jeff, and I think we have to adhere to our actual policy that
We
we
go to
have.
in their labor contract, correct, contract.
And they do have a contract such as that, so I mean, I think we'll support your decision.
So you'll just, in case you get a grievance.
I have a couple of things for you, don't I?
Okay.
Number one, are we still leasing a vehicle from Belfast PD?
No,
No. Did you null and void the contract?
Yes,
You did?
we never activated it actually because when we went down to pick up the vehicle,
And discovered it was very bad
it
shape.
had some repair problems, and then of course we had another crash last week. And when Matt went up Thursday of last week to Dutch to Stanley Chevrolet, they said, well, we're gonna have your other truck ready Friday. And we didn't expect that. We thought we're looking at a month, at least a month, maybe 2 months out. So Travis's truck is back on the road now as we speak. So we didn't need the Belfast vehicle.
So we never signed a lease,
We signed it, but we ended up, as of Friday, it was void.
and they're well aware it was canceled and void. I'm just being a stickler here to make sure that it doesn't come back, that we have to pay them.
Yeah, no, the chief is fine. I mean, we dealt with Chief
Okay,
Cormier, and he's all set with it. And he didn't realize that
it was that bad.
they had repairs that needed to be done on there.
So he should thank you.
Yeah, so we brought it to his attention.
Good try. Civil deputies.
Yeah.
I'm sure you read the same stuff that I read, Jeff, and I just read an article yesterday, the day before, about several deputies that were serving papers that were shot and killed. Are our civil deputies armed? And if they aren't, why are they not armed?
Well, this is a discussion we've had at the Maine Sheriff's Association.
I'm gonna be very frank, I don't care about the other counties, because they're not my problem.
Well, I understand that, but I take a lot of guidance from the Maine Sheriff's Association because we all try to act as one in conjunction with each other. as much as we
Okay,
can,
okay, I'll
because-
buy that.
And because we all have the same risk pool, and we all have the same professional standards.
Right.
So most of us, unless they're a uniform, some agencies in Oxford County, they have a full-time uniformed deputy that is serving civil papers, and he also augments the patrol division for backup. We haven't done that here because frankly, it's a whole lot more expensive. We did it.
How?
Well, because the money we're up until this, no, it may have changed because there's been a costing, the legislature finally passed a cost increase for us after many years of not. So we can do another analysis to see if there's going to be enough funds coming in to pay for full-time deputies who could be armed in a uniform. But up to this point, there hasn't been enough money there to even pay for one. So we have 2 part-time civil deputies right now, Dale Cross and the chief, former chief of the Hampton. The system project has worked. Now, so they're not armed. We don't allow them to be armed.
So one of your civil deputies is actually a law enforcement officer?
Well, he's retired. He's a retired chief from Hampton PD. He was chief up there for like 30 years.
Okay.
Joe Rogers. So, and then we have the other is Dale Cross.
But again, didn't you, and I know Dale from the Garden, he's a fine individual. But I mean, did you not see, I think it bothers me more than anything this day and age with everything that's going on in the world, that that we're losing fine people that are just trying to do what perhaps used to be seen as a very innocent job. And I mean, I'm not saying I want to see them walking around, but I mean, if there's a potential that they could carry a sidearm to at least be safe, they don't need to advertise it or anything. I guess I'm asking you to take it before your peers if you feel that comfortable. You know what I'm saying? I would rather spend a little more money, Jeff, than have to pay for some funeral flowers. And this was quiet, remote, peaceful areas where several of these civil deputies were killed. And I'm sure their areas thought it's not a big deal.
Well, that's one of the reasons we haven't gone that route, because we looked at it. We had one of our deputies who was nearing retirement. He's not now, and we thought about. That's when we did the analysis to see if the civil process program was bringing in enough funds to pay for a full-time uniformed officer, and it just wasn't. Money wasn't there, and we needed deputies in other places. So,
but then here's my other thought. I know in years past, and I'm not sure, help me, we used to have an SRO that in the summertime, a lot of times would go to the island or would do rural patrol or whatever. I don't know if do we still do that?
we obviously still have the SRO, but what happened there was the school basically said, we want him year round.
What does he do in the summer?
Well, there's all kinds of stuff.
Okay, I wasn't.
Yeah, he's very busy up there.
So I guess my thought, if the civil deputies were actually armed deputies, Jeff, I hear you guys talking all the time about being short-staffed, and my thought just would be is, wouldn't that be helpful if we had, whether it was one full-time guy that served papers and helped out where he could, or two part-timers or whatever, that you could also put on patrol or for backup for some of these. I mean, to me, and I'm not running your agency, but I mean, I'm just thinking, wow, it kind of.
Well, no, I mean, it's like I said, we looked at it because I redesigned the civil program is different now than it was when I became sheriff 8 years ago, because in my opinion then we were overcharging, and I didn't think it was ethical. And so we changed that whole process. That's when we went to the two part-time, and we put them by the hour rather than charging per service and then mileage, because the mileage was crazy. And it's gone very well.
Do they both drive new vehicles?
No. Well, they both were driving older Dodge pickups, but then the chief decided he didn't want to drive. And it's another story, but Joe Rogers is actually driving one of the newer Toyota pickups. And the chief was driving one of the older Dodges.
Makes sense.
There's other reasons for that, but normally we have them driving the older vehicles. I mean, one was so old that when Mark Nixon retired,
It was kind of
and we sold it to him for because we were going to just junk it. Basically, it was so old.
It was kind of funny. It was smart.
So, but I'll talk with. And the other thing, at this point, I hesitated. This really should be a program that whoever the new sheriff ends up being.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Something.
But I guess I just ask you to convey that message and pass it along, because I mean, in my head, and like I said, I'm not running your agency, Jeff, and I never will. But I mean, I'm just thinking to myself, like, wouldn't it, I mean, for safety purposes for these folks.
It would be safer.
And if we could if you could utilize them when everybody's on vacation, and now, you're not running with one or two guys covering an entire county. You've got another one. It just, I thought makes sense.
Yeah, I'll like I said, I'll talk to the chief deputy, and what I think we're kind of waiting to see. The new rates just took effect, so we haven't had a chance. We need a few months to see if they're going to bring in enough money. We're actually down on civil papers right now. It's a slow time of year, I guess. For civil papers.
Darn.
So, but I mean, if the county wanted to commit to the extra funds, because I mean, you're talking upwards of 120,000. By the time you buy all the equipment, uniforms, send them, and normally we can get, because Dale Cross is not a police officer, so But if you hired uniformed deputies, it'd be a whole lot more expensive and.
Oh,
but
there is
we have-
more expense, but again, you also have an actual deputy. A deputized who can carry a sidearm and cover somebody's butt when it needs to
It can
be,
be
you know
out
what I
on the
mean?
road. And to be honest with you, if the state police, we don't know, 'cause you already know that we've applied for a cops grant for two more deputies. And so we'll be putting 2 more deputies in the budget for the 23 year fiscal year.
That's two
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 more.
law enforcement trained deputies,
Exactly.
okay?
And so those are gonna be in the budget when we turn it over to you folks on the 15th. We won't know on the grant, whether the grant was approved until sometime in September, and usually it's late September. But so there'll be 2 more uniform deputies on the road. And if we can augment, if you folks want to commit to the funds that it would take, I'm sure the next sheriff would gladly put on 2 more. I mean, because if in my position, what the state police are telling us that they're going to do, it doesn't add up. They're going to create a new interstate troop, and they're going to have to man that troop on the interstate.
Because they're gonna up the tolls.
They're going to combine Troop C and Troop D, which is the mid-coast and the central Maine troops are combining to one. Now, Troop D right now, when I commanded it before I retired, I had 28 troopers. It's down to 16 right now. And Troop C is in the same position. When I was up there, there was 28, and they're way lower than that. I don't know the exact number. So they're going to combine two of the biggest troops in the state, make 1 troop, and cover all the interstate with a brand new troop. It doesn't add up. But the lieutenant is telling me Waldo County may not change. Keywords, may not change. He doesn't see it change, but he's close to retirement himself.
I was gonna say, isn't that Patrick? Isn't that
Pat
Hood? Yeah.
And so he's coming up on his 25th year. And so we have no choice. The sheriffs all across the state are asking for more deputies in our budget for this
And
year.
you kept us well up to date on that and prepared for that. I mean, I thought that Cody's plan was to make the state police just a specialized specialty unit, to like cover homicides.
That's what I think.
I hadn't even thought of the turnpike. They can make bank on that, that if they jack up everything else.
Well, and that's why the turnpike has a lot of federal funds and plus
Yeah.
tolls. So that unit out there gets staffed before the rural troops get staffed. That's where a lot of these troopers have gone. So there's a lot of changes coming, and it's going to require statewide. The county sheriff's offices are going to be covering the rural patrol is going to be handled by counties in the state. And I think there needs to be a discussion, and I'll be long gone by the time this happens, but there needs to be a discussion about funding, which we're having a meeting with the Maine County Commissioners next month. I think the 14th of next month. There's going to be a discussion, and the 2 candidates for governor are coming in to talk to the sheriffs and the county commissioners. So I'm reluctantly agreed to go.
You drew the short straw.
Yeah, so I'm going to go to that, and I'll listen. But I think that if the state police move forward with what they're going to do, I think the counties should be entitled to some of those funds that fund the state police today for rural patrol.
I think it only makes
Because it's not
sense.
fair to throw it all on the backs of the property taxpayers.
But the problem is the counties always pick up the slack and do it on their own. We've got a history of that.
Yeah.
It's honorable, but it doesn't pay the bills,
It's true.
And one last question. New Hope for Women, that lady was retiring, I think you told me a while ago.
Yeah, end of June. She's been gone since the end of June. What they did, they appointed a new advocate, but she's going to be the advocate for Knox and Waldo County, which is not going to work.
Right.
So, it's been a month since Ellie retired, but over a month since Ellie retired. We have not seen the advocate once.
And I believe her office is actually located in Knox.
And she lives down there. So she's not going to come to Waldo County. So
Exactly.
that office space is back. It's ours.
So I mean, I guess I just want to say that.
Yeah, it's ours
that-
again.
that I think,
And Jason, I'm pretty much letting Jason and Matt decide what they want to do as far as staffing, what they want to do with that office.
because I mean,
So-
I I appreciate what you've done, and I'm sure New Hope for Women does, but I think
And I suspected once I worked with Ellie for more than 15 years. And it's a big loss for domestic violence victims in this county with her retiring. And I was afraid they wouldn't staff it. So we're in the same boat with, as the SASM, the sexual assault folks. They don't have an office in Waldo County anymore. We never see them. So victims are being done a true injustice.
And again, remember, we have said that we have this office
Right.
upstairs here that we have more than graciously offered, which is prime location. But
I don't think they're planning, and they're going to the hybrid of working from home.
absolutely.
So even if we did, they still wanted an office, they're only gonna be there a day or 2 a week.
Yeah, no, that's not fair. That's not fair to you or your staff.
So I'm very disappointed.
I guess a comment I'd like to add, Commissioner Fowler, that differs from your comments a little bit, but I think the people that get shot serving papers, by and large, don't make any difference if they ever come. Not, there's
That's what I was thinking
tremendous
too.
disadvantage, knocking on the door, that guy's gonna shoot you, he's gonna shoot you before you can
Get your
never get
gun
gun.
out, right? Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, it's not
I
gonna
don't
prevent
dispute
you.
that. I don't dispute that, but I mean, that's my thought process just, and it's not like, anybody would need to advertise if they didn't want to, but I think it would be helpful if they had the option, but we could also utilize that position as another deputy when we're short-staffed, and you hear the sheriff talk about how short-staffed we are and everything else. Could we use these employees in a different place?
And it's being done in other counties. But, and the other thing, Commissioner Shorey, you're right in that. And part of what we do when we train these guys is, because they have access to Stillman, so they can go in, and when they get these papers, they can go and sit down at the computer terminal, look up the history on these folks, and after they do it for a while, they know
Pretty much
they know a lot
what's
of the
going on.
history. Yeah. And so if they catch wind of, and it's a person we already have flagged, we have a lot of folks flagged in our database that could be dangerous to police. If one of those comes up,
Good.
then those papers go to a uniformed deputy. They aren't served.
Good, that's good thing.
So, that's not gonna protect them
Or
100% of the
or
time.
at least maybe two, there's somebody with it to be the backup.
Anytime they don't
That's the
feel
only way-
comfortable, they know to have a uniform go with.
Because whether you have a gun or not, you might not get your gun out. And, but if there was somebody, backing you.
But then we should see an increase in revenue over the next few months. And if we do see an increase in revenue, if I was still gonna be your sheriff, I would probably be asking for something like that for a uniform. And in Waldo County, we could, if the level of paper service doesn't increase drastically, and it hasn't really over the years, we could do it with one full-time uniform deputy. And they would be, if they're out on the road in a marked car and in uniform, and the guys need help other places. Just a couple of days ago, we had a stabbing in Winniport and a bad domestic with a guy with a gun in Unity, and I only had 3 deputies working. And so thank God the state police stepped in. And so when we lose the state police to this change, we're gonna feel it, and we would have felt it
But
that
again,
day.
that's where
The
we
state
come in
police
handy.
ended up taking that stabbing person in Winniport. And that was life threatening. A kid was stabbed in the chest. So,
Do you guys do a report or a year-end review or anything like that on the community liaison program and how it's been and what we've done and what we're doing? And
we haven't yet because it's so new, but at some
it's
point.
been a couple of years.
Well, yes, but because it really got stalled during the big part of the pandemic. So the first year, it didn't get off the ground well at all because of the pandemic. And then this year, yeah,
I gotta hit that.
this year, we're tracking numbers. Nick Hodger, that's part
I'd
of
love
his
to see
job.
some. I'd love to
So-
see like,
We'll include it in the, I'll let the chief know because whoever the new sheriff's gonna be, so we'll be doing your annual report this year. But I'll have those numbers all put together before I finish up in December. And we'll add the community liaison numbers to that. But I can tell you, we just hired a new community liaison to fill that last open position, so the positions are all full now. And I referred a case to her the other day by phone. It's a case up in Unity. The gentleman is having mental illness problems right up in our neighborhood. And before I had a chance to get the form filled out, she was already on scene and talking with that subject. So she is, I'm very impressed with it.
But this is awesome to hear. I'd like to,
And the uniform deputies didn't have to get involved at all.
so we didn't have to send an
We
officer.
didn't have to send an officer because I've known this guy for 30 years and he's just, for whatever reason, he's having problems. And then the other thing we've turned over to the community liaison program, you know about our friendly call-up program. And if the seniors don't call in
A
at the
deputy is
designated
good.
time, we used to send a deputy. Now we're sending the friendly call-ups. So there's another whole, it's not a ton of times, but there's probably, I bet 25 or 30 times a year we have to go up and check those.
Absolutely,
That's all community liaisons now, so that's not tying up patrol units.
as it should be.
Yeah. So we'll have that in the annual report.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Very good.
Anything else?
Oh, sir, thank you.
All right.
Excuse me if I may.
Wait,
Before the sheriff ends his report, I just want to have an opportunity to respond on a couple of the comments that were made.
please join us.
Okay. So, I want to say this is the first that my office had heard of a new agreement with the sheriff's department on.
She hasn't told you guys?
No, we're not aware of that. We heard some rumor that there was a meeting, but nothing that we were aware of. So I want to put this on record that we don't know that. The other thing that I wanted to comment on is we don't just unnecessarily ask for materials.
Oh, no, Jeff, I don't think it was implied.
No, I mean,
I didn't mean to.
As far as the audio video, it's required by law. If it's mentioned in the report, I don't care what it is, we must provide it to the defense for discovery purposes.
But as long as we provide the link, that fills that requirement. That's how we understand.
It does, yes, as long as it's provided us in one way or another, so in some fashion. As far as their end of loading, the share file system that we're going to is a statewide system. So every DA's office in the state will be going to this. And I think at this point in time, the majority of them are already there. So I think this is almost a statewide issue as far as trying to resolve the time frame that it takes to download these videos into our share file system. So we'll reach out to Natasha today to see, because I was involved in the first meeting that we had when we went to share file. So we reached an agreement amongst the chief and we got Natasha and stuff. And I forget who else, I think a couple other people were there, so.
But it became so cumbersome, so it took so many hours, it wasn't working.
And our office wasn't aware of that from your office either. I didn't know that until the meeting with Natasha. So this is the first we're hearing about this. So,
Sorry about that.
yeah, no, so if there is a way that we can make it smoother, all for it, but share file's here to stay. It's not going away. So I don't know if it may be an IT question for Jason as well. He's coming to our office after this meeting actually to help us with some
Yeah,
stuff.
please.
So I'd like to talk to him and see, is there something that we can add to your programs that makes it quicker and more smoother to load it, to be able to load it in the share file?
And we got to decide whose responsibility should it be, because I don't have the staff, and we're paying a sergeant a lot of money to put these packages together. And I don't want to pay him the money that the level that he's paid at to sit for 7 or 8 hours to download videos. That's not what this county wants to pay him for.
And
So either we'll have to, either the DA's office or the sheriff's office is going to have to put on some clerks. And I can tell you, Bangor PD has 6 people. They have the same systems that we have in the cruisers. And the information I have out of Bangor PD is they have 6 people full-time downloading videos. They're clerks that they pay. We don't have that kind of, and they're a bigger department than we are, but
Right.
I mean, but this is a lot of hours. This is not something that's simple. And so we are going to have to figure this out. I think that's why the chief went straight to
yeah,
the DA to try and figure this out, because it's not just a Waldo County issue.
no, I understand that, I appreciate it, but unfortunately, it's not how you guys, we just require it a certain way, so how we get it is actually up to your office.
Right.
So, I mean, I shouldn't say that, not how that we, it's just the local law enforcement agency's responsibility to provide it to our office, so. As far as that, and we don't have any.
So this is something that technology is moving faster than all of our mechanisms in
Yeah.
our offices. So we'll get it worked out.
And Eric, just know, I sat in meetings with the sheriff on the jail trial consolidation in which where he's speaking of.
Yeah.
And it was, you guys brought it up over and over to speak with those at the court system and everything else. So the ball was dropped once it left the higher ranks. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Please, we apologize.
Yeah,
because
no, and
that was not how it was supposed to be.
and that's why I rushed over you too, because I wanted to be a person rather than on Zoom to explain this to you. So, yeah, so it's the first we're hearing, other than a little bit of rumors going on. So we were actually waiting for some response to what the details of the meeting were about.
Was that 2 weeks ago?
I think I'm not sure of the date, to be honest. So,
I got it, right, Commissioner.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, thank you for your time.
I apologize, but it's very good to see you, Eric.
Thanks.
If I have nothing more to rant and rave at you for.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Bill.
Eric, you don't have to leave. As soon as. Excellent. All right, Barbara, you have the floor.
I will not take too long. First of all, Dale Rowley asked if you, I know he spoke to you folks about this briefly at at your last court session. He has a sole source form that he'd like you to sign. It's for the construction manager. So if you kindly do that, I'll make sure he gets it.
It's nothing that we have to have.
Probably you do, just to be on the safe side.
Kids are gonna go in it.
Gonna be about the
All right, I move that,
Can we sign the sole source form? Aye. Motion's been made. All those in favor?
I,
Aye. Oh,
Thank you.
great, now we're out of donuts.
There's.
Here, do you want part of my donut?
There are cookies for after the lunch. So you'll
you have half of mine.
Does that mean I don't get?
Okay.
You do, you do. Totally okay. Do you mind taking one and passing?
We're running a couple minutes late.
Oh, couple of minutes.
Oh, stop your complaining.
You don't mind taking one and pass along, thank you. Just so that I do need to respond to Lauren Haven regarding what the sheriff mentioned to you about the MCCA convention that's September 14th.
You know, that is a long 4 o'clock before it ends. I was thinking that I could go for an hour or so, but
Well, you should go for part if you wanted.
Shoot, Randy doesn't even show up till 3:15. What's he gonna possibly say?
And I don't know if you want anyone else to attend that or not. Just
Yeah,
let, I
nice.
just have to respond to let her know who's going.
I'm
you
not,
have been there
I'm not
for
a
the
busy.
physical, safe driving, not that.
Yeah,
It just gets Waldo, does get some.
I can already assure you,
We don't.
we are.
I thought that. Too many deer.
Yeah. September 4th. I gotta look in my book. I don't-
If you want to get back to me, that's
I'll get
fine.
back to you.
I'll ask you folks one more.
It's their normal Wednesdays, Wednesday of the month meeting type.
I thought 4 o'clock.
Yeah, until 4.
Ugh.
And I was going to try to make it, part of a day.
I'll follow up with each of you.
Okay.
I haven't heard, you have to let them know by the 15th, so I'll talk to you before that. Also, just a reminder, your mileage is due tomorrow, so just call me with it, whatever's easier for you all to do, I'll take care of that. Let's see what else do I have for you. I did not get the minutes done, but they will be done before your next court session. And you do have a special session on the 17th that starts at 9. And I hope I
Yeah.
have that
Yeah.
correct. Okay. I believe that's all I have for you.
Wonderful,
So save you some time.
wonderful, wonderful. Okay.
Like it's been done,
Good God, yeah, good God.
executive session done,
We could,
commissioner's business, I have none.
okay, Bill, you don't have anything?
no, I, was gonna have a short executive session later, so I'll go to next one.
Okay. All right, and I've got nothing. You've heard me ask my barrage of questions to people as they came in. So I guess we will move on to the budget caucus.
I'm right on time.
I know, see, you have
See, but you
poked
need-
me
I
right
know
straight
it, you
ahead.
need me.
You're right, Betty. You're right. Good day, gentlemen. There were several others that were going to join us that notified Barb this morning that they were unable to attend. Barb was kind enough, because she keeps us right in line, to print up the statutes for the budget process and selection and so on and so forth, so that we don't botch it up. And if technically,
never stopped us before.
I know. Well, I actually said to Barb, I don't know if anybody's ever like gonna sue or challenge the budget committee, because people don't fight to get on it, but so technically, if we don't have a representative from a particular district to nominate someone from said district, right?
Right.
Then we have to just leave it blank and people can fill in the blank.
We put a
Do we-
write-in
Right.
space.
Do we have people who are from those districts online?
Harvey and F. Gray, are they
No idea.
committee members?
We
no.
don't have anybody from the budget committee online.
I'll go both from the DA's office. now.
Yeah, so the answer to that would be no.
Which district?
So,
District 3.
yeah, you're District 3,
So
you're
we're-
District 2, so it's
So
District.
you're
No,
one,
one.
right?
District
So we're
one.
only missing
Someone
District 2, so that's
universal.
actually good. That's great. Great,
Yeah.
you showed up, Josh. Thank you.
So who's
No,
District
it's
2?
still.
District 2 is this one.
Yeah, okay, I guess, well, I mean, part of me is thinking, I can't imagine that anybody in the world is gonna be like, you guys broke the rules by letting somebody from District 1 nominate somebody from District 2, but, so, whatever, but that being said, District 1, do you have a person or someone that you would like to nominate?
No, I don't. I'm open for ideas.
Yeah, for ideas.
It can't be someone who's also from Lincolnville, is that correct?
Yeah, no,
One
can't be
percent.
duplications.
1%.
of that. Yeah, good try. Yeah,
I was gonna get the new guy on the ballot.
no, it can't be from the same
That's what I
municipality.
thought.
Is the guy from Mount Vernon still on?
Gabe?
Yeah.
He is,
he's
right?
on.
He's on.
Is he?
Is he still,
It's Lincolnville that is now, won't have anybody.
He's from Lincoln.
What about Josh?
Oh, you're from.
I'm from Lincoln.
Lincolnville, right?
So is your term up?
Is it?
Will be.
It's,
What I have for notes is there's one term open and was Tom Wagner's term. He completed it for someone else. So that's the
Waldo's
term
select
for
person.
Waldo, right?
Oh,
So
I
it
thought-
could be open to anyone other than
Yeah.
Lincolnville, which
I
is.
thought
when does my term expire?
we're not gonna tell you. I thought Walter did a fabulous job. He had a lot of really good questions and was well educated. Is he still interested in doing it?
I don't know, I mean, I thought he was good.
I- I'm dead serious. I really thought
Planned
he
on
did.
being here today, so I'm not sure.
Is he still a selectman?
Yours expired.
That's the question too.
Next year.
Is he still a sort?
I have not been notified that he is not. Been a select, I mean, it's not a selectman. I've not heard of any
Great job.
change.
Okay, so Gabe is still, his term is not up yet, correct?
No,
His term is up the end of this year.
He's the only. one Should we start making phone calls?
Yeah, really. I mean, how can we find out if Walter is still indeed a selectman or interested? Because I
You mean
I
Tom?
almost,
Tom Wagner, would you like me to?
yes,
I can go make some phone calls if you don't mind, Mike.
No,
Stepping out.
I'd almost love to see,
Is there anyone else I need to call?
well, who are you thinking of?
Oh, I was thinking of Penny.
Okay,
Her term expires, right?
yeah,
And I
but she's
thought-
already said that she wants to get back on.
That's right.
Yes.
But somebody's got to nominate.
Right, but you
And
can,
and you-
I can,
you
Okay,
can.
so.
and I will.
So I'll just go call.
Why don't we start with District 3?
Yeah, really. Unless we know of somebody else.
I don't know of anyone else, and I know Penny said she would, I saw some notes back and forth, said that she'd be interested in doing it again.
Yeah.
So I nominate Penny, it's Sampson, right?
Mhm.
Sampson, yeah. I nominate Penny Sampson to be on the Waldo County Budget Committee for District 3.
Am I supposed to write this down?
Well, you lost your secretary.
Someone needs to write.
So you made the motion. You second.
Second, yeah,
There-
second.
Motions
Okay.
don't need to be seconded.
A motion for Penny, okay. And that's District 3.
Actually, only those in that district vote.
Yeah,
Right,
So Josh,
I'll go for
so the motion go back to the town.
Right.
Right?
Right.
This,
And there's a nomination that gets written in, and then they can have a
right.
if they don't get the votes, they don't.
a writing.
Right.
Got so many words running around.
so even with her name on the ballot, they could still write someone else.
Yeah.
So that's kind of confusing, right?
Well, I mean, I know what, there was a few years ago that we were struggling. And it was to the point where, I mean, you had District 3 people like nominate, like District 1 here, we'll help you out here or whatever.
Mhm.
And Barb is very much to the rules.
Like, wait a second.
Well, let's get this done before she comes back.
But, so she had the statutes and I said to her, good Lord, it's hard enough trying to find people to get on the budget committee.
Yeah.
And we have an extraordinary budget committee, it's like, it's not painful, like many years ago, Josh, you recall. So, I don't know.
I mean, basically, isn't it ordinance say that it has to be an elected official?
On the budget committee. Yes.
Oh, yeah, it
I
has,
mean, some counties, like Knox County, it can be anybody.
Really?
well, I felt, yeah, it could be like, we've had city councilors in the past, on, but not for a long time.
The city councilor is the elected official, isn't
Yeah, they're like a select.
They're just not
same-
interested.
Same position,
They're just not interested in being on the.
haven't heard anything.
We haven't had any interest. City of Belfast always had somebody, on the budget committee.
it? Josh, we just do such an outstanding job. That they figure what the heck.
They got it in.
You guys got it. You got it. Ah,
Well, I think the virus thing is really, it's mammoth, what it's caused in the states and the operation of the states, like, for example, Sisport had a bid opening the other day for $3 million for the Route 1 going through Sisport. Guess what? Nobody bid. Nobody bid on the job.
Not a single person.
He is willing.
And
Oh, he's willing.
That's what I think he said he was, because he asked if he could nominate himself, but he
Oh,
wasn't able to be present today, so it is fine. He's willing to do it.
Josh,
Great. Well, I nominate select person Thomas Wagner to represent District 1 on the Waldo County budget for the year 2022.
Oh, it's a 3-year term.
It's a 3-year.
okay.
Josh, does your term as selectman in
It ends next year.
next year?
You gotta keep doing it.
I'm moving to Rockport.
Right.
You're hoping what?
I'm moving to
He's
Rockport.
jumping ship.
Jumping ship. Jumping
So
ship.
you will be retiring,
Yeah, at the end of
and
next.
you'll have a special election for in the two.
Yeah.
So we will have to try to find somebody to be your place in the budget.
Hopefully we can find someone from Lincoln.
From Lincolnville.
Yeah, actually, to fill your vacancy would be.
Oh.
That would be great,
Oh,
That
fill
that
vacancies.
works.
correct. The unfinished term needs to be filled.
But
by
once the
same-
term's finished, then that
And-
person
and
comes
so
from
the
Sears
whole-
Bond or.
Right.
You know, all the towns don't vote on it, it's just that town votes on it.
Right.
And Barbara, while you were absent, Bob motioned for Penny,
Okay,
Penny Sampson for District 3.
great, thank you.
What if no one from Lincolnville wants to?
That happens a lot.
Okay,
You
and
know,
it just
so
stays.
It's just gotta be somebody from District
We'll get
2.
to
But
But I'm not. We'll find
You
one of
like
those
to,
four.
you like to think that somebody from the town, you know, where you've represented will step up.
Yeah.
Bob, I can't remember, isn't that how you got originally put on here?
Yeah, you know,
Is to fill somebody's term?
Harry Dean Potter was on for a while,
Oh.
and then
It was a
whether
lady.
his term expired or not, then Cheryl York came
Yep.
on. Cheryl had a lot of things going on at the same time, so she asked if I would do it.
Yep.
When I became selectman, I said yes.
We just got our claws in and.
And now I can't get away. No.
So if I called Jim Yoway, I think that they could, with a couple of people that would do the job. I mean, I don't know why they're not here today, but like, the same reason everybody else isn't here today. But I think we can fill Sisport and Stockton. We had two of the Stockton gal might have gone off, but the Sisport gal I know hasn't. I could call him. They've done that before. Come up with a name and voted on.
When is their
Okay.
meeting
Oh.
in district, the Seaport district? When's that?
Linda Payson is still filling that term until the end of 2023, so the end of next year. And
When's the
it's
Cisco
been a
one, Bob?
vacancy.
The Sisport one, was the gal still up? at
She
Cis-
is, and she's on until the end of 2023.
Hmm.
So-
Okay.
So there's
And
been.
so
a-
she's still active, right?
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
So that one doesn't need anybody. to fill.
No.
No, there's just been the vacancy that's.
How about the Stockton one, Bob?
That's been vacant now for at least a year.
Okay, I'll call the
That's the
manager and
one.
see what they can do.
So it's a 3-year term.
Yeah.
That's open for that. And the Winterport individual is still, as far as I know, active until the end of this current year. Tammy Higgins.
All right, so we covered 2 districts.
Came up with all kinds of great ideas.
Yeah.
All right, so
So
Barbara,
if nominations cease.
yes.
Okay.
I'm shocked that Elaine's not here. Is she okay?
She planned on it but couldn't.
She had I asked her if she wanted to ride. She said, I'm up to my ears with family, so. she's got a
You
lot
would
of-
have thought that she'd have still tried to get out.
You'd have thought, but we've been beating her up on a lot of other things with the broad. So
That would be very nice.
keeping her busy. So does that end the meeting?
Our portion of this.
I'll entertain a motion
Go ahead.
to.
Okay, I will go get lunch on the table.
We're adjourned. Hang on, at least grab a sandwich before you run out the door.
So I do have a couple, I guess, offline questions for you guys.
Okay.
Our fire chief talked about the fact that Waldo County was putting in new radios. And he's concerned that our radios won't work. The radios that we have in our fire trucks won't work with the new radios or something like that. Is there any idea in the county how we're gonna make sure that everybody is taken
Yeah, but
care of?
that's interesting. I don't know if that still happens anymore, because remember years ago, and you know technology more than I do. I'm thinking, remember there was that whole analog and
Digital
this and
all
that.
Yeah.
Where they didn't talk to each other, but.
So what our
But
fire
there's some
chief has had to
brands out
do is, you know, where
Always sit down.
what our fire chief has had to do is he's had to get some kind of a repeater to put in the trucks so that it gets whatever signal it gets, and it can get that signal from the truck to their
There's
the handheld.
there's supposed to be something out that, I think it was federal. There was a grant to help these towns and counties. about radios.
Okay, so what should I ask him to touch with